Today on Central Florida Spotlight, all four candidates running to become the new mayor of Orange County sit down to tell us why they are the right choice. 5 minutes each to state their case. Here with Orange County Clerk of Courts, Tiffany Moore-Russell. And Tiffany, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Greg, for the invitation.
You bet. So first question right out of the gate, why do you want to be Orange County mayor? That's a big job.
It is huge, and I want to be mayor actually for my two sons. I have a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old son, and I want to leave a community where they want to make Orange County their choice of home, right? This next generation have so many options to move anywhere, and I want to make sure that Orange County is in the competition for them to want to relocate and raise their family here as well. We do that by making it possible for the next generation.
And you're from here. I mean, you're born and raised in Dr. Phillips High School, so this county means a lot to you.
It means a lot to me. I've seen so much change. I've seen some positive improvements, but I've also seen parts of our county where there has been very little investment and growth, right? And so we celebrate our advancements. I kind of joke with people sometimes that, you know, we didn't have 408 back in the day. We had to take Colonial all the way to UCF at that time, right? And so I've seen so much growth, but I think there's opportunities for us to do more here in the community.
Have we left some folks by the side of the road in terms of that growth, that development, and would you like to focus your attention on that?
As a former county commissioner, I served District 6. I'm very passionate what I call our legacy communities, right? Those, South Apopka, Holden Heights, Pine Hills, where we have seen very little investment, right? I think sometimes we like the shiny and the new, and it's the Horizons West, Lake Nona, right? East Orlando, all that new, and we forgot to invest in some of what I call our legacy communities. And so for me, the priority will be to invest in those communities, to have some redevelopment and help those communities get some vibrant activity going on.
What was your big break? What changed your life? Because you came from there and now you're running for mayor.
Yeah, so actually what changed my life was the late Mabel Butler. She was a county commissioner and she pushed for a program for internships with the county. And I received an internship where I worked in her office as well as I spent time in the Orange County Attorney's office because they knew that I wanted to be an attorney.
Yeah, I would think too, for you to come from Tangelo Park, Dr. Phillips High School, first job at Universal, become an attorney, become clerk of courts, sit on the commission and possibly become mayor. It's not only an inspiration for your children, but I would think for other children.
I hope I will give them an example of what's possible. I mean, that your neighborhood that you come from doesn't define your destination. It's what you are capable of doing and also taking advantage of opportunities that come your way, right? I think sometimes we don't take advantage, so it's taking advantage, but knowing that your current assignment doesn't define your destiny. And I hope I am telling some young person out there there's anything you can do no matter what your zip code is and where you live in your community.
Critics might say that you've never managed $8 billion. Gotcha. Not many people have. Does that seem like a doable thing? How would you manage that amount of money? Some states don't have a budget like that.
So I think first, it's all about your budget philosophy, and then it becomes scalable, right? And so yes, at the clerk's office, my budget is no more than about $40 million. So of course, it's nowhere near billions, but it's the budget philosophy, making sure you can look for efficiencies. My first year as clerk, actually, I had to cut my budget 3 times my first year. And in the clerk's business, we don't get to raise fees. We don't get to go increase a fee because we need more money. We have to figure it out.
Quick check of the government website. Your campaign has not raised the money that some of your competitors have. Some of your competitors even have Disney as part of their funding source. Who is helping to fund yours, and how would a voter be confident that whomever is picked isn't beholden to the people that have given them money?
So I think who's funding my campaign are people. And we've been saying from the beginning, this campaign is backed by the people. It's individual donors. It's people in this community who are believing in my candidacy and wanting to support me and are willing to sacrifice their own personal resources, right, to support my campaign.
Tourist development tax, record revenue, a lot of money. People think, oh, that should go to schools, roads. Where do you stand on that? Because the state does not allow that. It's supposed to go to tourism.
So what I think is important for us to do is make sure we recognize that we are securing and protecting our economic engines in this community. And tourism is one of them, as well as manufacturing and other economic drivers in this community. So making sure we can secure that because they provide income for a lot of the citizens in this county. But I think we also should make sure we can reimagine what TDT can be used for to support those who work in tourism. That's the people who work in our hotels, who work in the theme parks, who are working in the restaurants, who actually make us the great destination that we are. My campaign is focusing on the voters and the people who drive the economy in this community.
So would you go to Tallahassee and try to get the law changed?
I will work with my legislators to look for ways to explore solutions to make sure we can serve the citizens of Orange County.
Final question, do you support the use of any public money to help bring baseball here, for example?
So I will tell you, Greg, and my record, people know how I voted on the venues. I'm always going to ask the question, does the data make sense? Does the data drive our decision? Right now, today, I don't think the baseball would be a good use of our TDT dollars, whether it be a return on our investment, and will it actually help grow TDT? And so for me, it would have to show me some new numbers to say we need to be investing in baseball.
All right, good luck in your campaign.
All right, thank you.
Here now with Chris Messina. Welcome to the Channel 9 studio.
Thanks, Greg. It's great to be here with you.
All right, so you're jumping into politics.
Yes.
The other three candidates have had some experience in politics. Is that put you behind, or do you think that that's actually to your advantage?
I think it's an advantage because we're at a stage in the development of Orange County and Greater Orlando where we need a new vision. We need to do something different, and we need to think big, and we need to think about how we can apply technology to the problems we have and how we can leverage new technology, specifically space tech, to lift the incomes of everyone here.
I encourage people to look at all of our candidates' resumes and what they've done. This is more of an introductory moment in time for Orange County, but you're not new to Orange County. You got involved because your family lives here. You want to see the future of Orange County just as bright as possible.
I do, and I think the future of Orange County is sunlight and starlight. We are on the verge of one of the most important revolutions in human history, which is the interplanetary epoch. And I think we need to take advantage of it. I shared with others about my mission and my team's mission to bring the first military academy in the South, the Space Force Academy, right here to Orange County. We're the perfect place for it, and now is the time to initiate this project.
Why does it fit us?
Well, it fits us because first, we have the second largest university in the country, in UCF. We're right on the St. Johns River. We go right up to, and right across the St. Johns River is the world's premier launch facility at Cape Canaveral. Plus, this is a wonderful place to live for people who might come down here to bring their families because of all the great theme parks, the arts, and the entertainment. And also, we have a very strong military intellectual base here.
And this is a different campaign than those that are running against you, because you have focused on an entirely, I don't want to say a new industry, but a booming industry.
Yes.
And changing the face of Orange County, not discounting tourism, but adding to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it will add to tourism. I went to the Artemis II launch, and I was a little bit late getting out there because of the campaign. But there were 100,000 people in cars parked all along both sides of the road leading out there, which says that space tourism is going to be a big boom for our tourist industry. It's really going to benefit it.
So you're a businessman, Ivy League educated.
Yeah.
There's this big amount of money, regardless of what happens with the Space Academy, $8 billion that you manage and thousands of employees. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I am. I've run businesses my whole life. I've helped form the largest regional medical trade association in the country. I've built foundations. So yes, I have lots of experience with managing payrolls, allocating funds, and recruiting great people to create something new.
What do you think about the tourist development tax and its current use? Does that need to be adjusted, or are you okay with that?
We have an enormous impact. So my view is that we need to expand our definition of tourism a little more broadly and look at other things, like could we do some arts tourism? Could we do tourism around the new firefighting center? A SWAT team tour, competitions in tourism? Can we redevelop Church Street so it becomes an entertainment, sports entertainment megaplex and do promote tourism around that? Can we fund specific projects, like maybe supporting projects similar to what the Boring Company is doing, connecting Epic to Universal underground, and which will tremendously relieve traffic between those two destinations?
By state statute, this is a nonpartisan race.
Right.
So people can Google and try to figure out, what side of the political spectrum you or others fall on. Is that important? Is a party important when it comes to Orange County government?
I don't think so. I think what's important is that you're really focused on solving people's problems and making life better for the average person who lives here. By nature, I'm conservative, and that means I believe in the free market, not socialist solutions to problems. And there is some socialist ideas starting to creep in, and I think we need to oppose those.
Final question for you. There's
Sure.
been some talk of expansion baseball, the Orlando Dreamers. Where do you stand on giving them some of the TDT to help them build a stadium?
Well, first of all, as a football coach here, I've taken a hiatus from it. I'm a volunteer football coach. I love sports, and I would love to see more sports here. We have to make sure, though, that whatever we do, if we're bringing the Dreamers or potentially a hockey team or an NFL team here, that we have a process by which the taxpayers can be paid back.
Very good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, good luck. Here with Stephanie Murphy, no stranger to Central Florida politics, but stranger to local politics, going for Orange County mayor. After success in Congress, why did you step back and then decide to get back in?
I stepped back because I had small children that needed mom home a little bit more than I was able to serving in Congress. But I'm really proud of my time serving there, named one of the most effective members of Congress, really drawing down resources and meeting the needs of this community. I'm running for Orange County mayor because I think that this community is at an inflection point. It's growing fast because people know this is a great place to live. But I really worry that without leadership, with a clear vision for where we're going, that growth isn't going to result in opportunity. It's going to end up creating more pressures on working families here. And so I'm running to create a county that has affordability, livability, and opportunity for everybody in it.
Our budget in Orange County is, as you know, obviously $8 billion. Some states don't have a budget like that. Are you equipped to manage that hefty of amount of money's coming in and spending it appropriately?
I have tackled tough problems, whether that was in the private sector, at the Department of Defense, or in Congress. And at the Department of Defense, I set the priorities for an $800 billion budget at a time when we had 2 wars going on and a lot of lives at stake. And so I feel like I get to bring all of these diverse experiences to the job of being an executive for an $8 billion organization with over 8,000 employees and 1.6 million customers.
Super important to note, and people need to understand, this is a nonpartisan race. We do know that, you ran as a Democrat before. This is not one of those partisan elections, and statute points out that you can't even lean on your party. Is that the way it should be at local government?
I think it should absolutely be that way, because at the end of the day, potholes and permits are not partisan.
No.
People just want an effective county government that delivers for them. They collect taxpayer dollars, but what are they doing to improve the lives of the people in this community? And you don't have to be partisan to be able to answer that question.
Do you support using public money or resources, for example, Orlando Dreamers baseball and their dream of putting a baseball stadium down on I-Drive? Is that something that you would get behind?
I think that decision doesn't currently lay with the county, it lays with the MLB. They have to make a decision. And just like any sports franchise or business or otherwise that's interested in coming to this incredible county, we have to have negotiations to set standards to ensure that their presence here is going to be to the benefit of the people who live here. We can be not just a world-class destination, but also a world-class community for the people who live here. And as mayor, that will always be my focus.
TDT is just this huge pot of money. Are you for having that money go to other resources other than currently how it's designed in the state legislature?
I believe in following the law as it exists today, and that means though, that if we complete the 40% that is allocated towards marketing, and it doesn't all have to go to Visit Orlando, there are other ways in which we can use these marketing dollars. We unlock the other 60% to be able to do really interesting and creative things to meet the needs, whether it's transportation or housing or otherwise that are related to tourism impacts. And to date, what dismays me is that our current electeds haven't thought creatively within the bounds of the law on how to maximize these dollars to the greatest benefit of residents.
Disney has supported your campaign. You have a large amount of money that's in your bank account to spend. What favors will you have to curry, or any, if you're elected?
I'm really proud of the support that my campaign has received because I've laid out this vision around affordability, livability, and opportunity. And I think you can look at my record serving in Congress and otherwise. I have always been responsive to the people I represent.
How will Orange County look different after 4 years of Stephanie Murphy and maybe 8?
Orange County will finally have made the progress on congestion, on housing, and on diversifying our economy that we have been talking about and we have known have been an issue for decades. We will finally make progress there so that we're building forward towards a future where my kids and yours can find a well-paying job, can afford to live nearby, and can build a future with their families.
Excellent. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to see you.
Let's learn a little bit about you. We know that you're a candidate for this, but why are you the most qualified of a really good field of candidates?
Well, honestly, Greg, to me, it's an honor. I'm actually born and raised here in Orange County. I'm a first-generation American. Parents moved here in 1972 to work for Martin Marietta. I was born and raised in Pine Castle, Oak Ridge High School graduate, and I still live in Pine Castle. I never left my community, and now my husband and I have 24 years, have 2 children. Our daughter Faith, who's 22 in college, and our son Lincoln, who just turned 9, who's going into 4th grade next month. And this is community, and I've seen this town change. I've seen for the good. I've seen where I'd like to see better. And honestly, it was part of my passion to run for county commissioner originally was I wanted to see better in our community. And being in this role has really highlighted more changes that I'd like to see when it comes to transportation, when it comes to protecting our environment, when it comes to housing, jobs, and opportunities. And it's been a commitment. And mind you, I spent 8 years in the federal government working for Senator Bill Nelson, but also 24 years as a spouse of a owner of a company. And what struggles it takes to be an entrepreneur in this town, to provide jobs and to really have prosperity. And I think it's time we have that balance of people and prosperity and opportunities and also growth.
You did correct me when I came in today because I've been saying, how would you best manage the $8 billion budget? Many states don't have a budget that large. And then you corrected me and said it's not $8 billion.
It's $9 billion. We went up about 7.4% in value and estimated ad valorem and revenue coming in. And of course, that combined with our gas tax, our sales tax, and clearly over 75 million people who visit us create a very inflated sales tax. And knowing that only 40% of our population is homesteaded. So all this property value that continues to increase benefits Central Florida. And it's about what are we doing with those dollars? And in my opinion, not doing enough and not being as prudent as we need to be to really move us forward.
This race is nonpartisan. I mean, there's not an R or a D next to any name. What's your take on that? I know that people can do a little Google search and they might come up with an opinion as to which party you side with. How important is party or political alliance when it comes to running Orange County?
I actually think local government's the most basic form of government. I tell people it's your trash pickup, it's the potholes, it's calling 911, it's feeling safe when a storm comes through, and it's not about politics. You are not going to be voting on any hugely partisan issues that you see at the federal and state government. So local government should be the essence of what people are, the representation of every person who lives in this town. And I love it being nonpartisan. It's true, you can look us up. We're not hiding and it's public record, but I like the fact and I like to have conversations of knowing When I'm your commissioner, and God willing, when I'm your mayor, I'm not waking up every morning and saying, I'm defining these ideals when I represent you. When I go to work, I actually leave my politics at home.
So during your run as commissioner, you've been there and you've been a part of managing the biggest pot of money, not the $9 billion, but that tourist development tax, which set another record last year. I know there's some excess. Do you think at the state level, the ability to use that in different ways is important, or do you like the way that it currently is structured?
100% we need to change how we use that money. I believe that tourism is very valuable, and what they do is very good. People continue to come to see these huge theme parks and hopefully a lot of arts and culture that are also taking place. But you're talking about a $400 million bucket of money. How about we do help our roads and infrastructure, our water quality, our public safety, and housing? I think it's fair, because if you create an environment where people want to live here and actually want to continue to work in that industry, and then you also create an environment when people visit here, we've got great public transit and roads, it's only going to improve for everyone. We just lost a major contract to Las Vegas, and the complaint was transportation. That's a $300 million revenue loss. That's huge.
There's been talk of a baseball team moving here, whether it's a baseball team or whatever. Where do you stand on using part of the TDT to help make that happen?
I think we have to have a conversation at the table. I think if a professional team comes in, and professional teams are very well taken care of, they need to bring something to us. We have been in this giving kind of mentality for way too long. And that's my biggest thing with TDT is we don't take care of the people here. People want us to use some of that funding for something else. And if we're going to create new partnerships, let's make sure we get it right the first time and not come back later trying to ask for some assistance. We make that part of the deal early. But I think it'd be great. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Big job, a lot of big names, including your own, that's in there. We wish you well. We'll see you at our debate.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that wraps up our Meet the Candidates edition of Central Florida Spotlight. Thank you to all four, and we will see them again soon in the studio for our live debate, Tuesday, August 4th at 8 p.m. And then, don't forget, Election Day, August 18th. Until the debate, thank you for watching and have a great rest of your weekend.